All right, welcome. We have Jim Ross with us. Jim Ross is running for mayor of Arlington. Jim, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, it's our pleasure. Are you ready for your first question?
I am.
All right. Please introduce yourself to the voters of Arlington. How long have you lived here? What is your occupation? And what notable experience do you have serving our community? This will be a 3-minute response.
Sure. My name is Jim Ross. I've been here in Arlington for almost 40 years now. I came to Arlington after 4 years of service in the U.S. Marine Corps. I became an Arlington cop and worked as a police officer here in Arlington from 1983 to 1996. As a
Mhm.
police officer, I was a part of Arlington's first full-time SWAT team. I developed Arlington's own police academy, and I spent nearly 7 years undercover buying drugs for a living. I developed and wrote Arlington's use of force policy and was a use of force expert for the city as well. I finished my undergrad when I was 35 years old. I went to college part-time as a police officer and ultimately finished my undergrad. I took out my retirement and paid my way through law school, finished law school in 28 months, graduated in 1998, passed the bar, and hit the ground running. My first 10 years or so, I worked with a lady named Marin Brockovich doing environmental litigation around the country. And then 11 or 12 years ago, I decided to go out on my own and create my own law firm. We've grown the firm from one person to almost 40 people now, and about 12 lawyers work in the firm. We do personal injury and family with a little bit of business thrown in there. We've received awards from the Small Business Association and Fort Worth Magazine for the Veteran Business of the Year and the best place to work under 50 people. I also own the Mercury Chop House Arlington, which is a fine dining restaurant up on Lamar overlooking the entertainment district. And I've had that place going for about 3 years now. I've had other businesses in Arlington, and I have worked them, made them all successful here in town. I currently, between my two places, employ just shy of 100 people here in town. I've been involved in a lot of different committees and stuff. I'm on the Margarita Society, the board of directors for the Chamber of Commerce, the chairman of the board for the Arlington Police Association. I've served in committees and boards from everything from the Special Olympics, American Heart Association, Salvation Army, Boys and Girls Club, Junior League, etc. And I am currently serving on the Economic Recovery Task Force for the city of Arlington.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, your next question. Why are you running for office? And this will be a 2-minute response.
I'm running for office because I think I'm the one that's best situated to take Arlington to the next level. I think Mayor Williams has done a good job. We are better off now than we were 6 years ago when he took office. And he's to be commended for the job that he's done. Unfortunately, with term limits, he's on his last term, and I became fearful that Arlington was going to go in the wrong direction. So I sat and I waited and I looked around. I was waiting for someone to put their name in the hat that I could get behind, and it never happened. A rumor started going that I was thinking about being mayor because someone overheard a buddy and I talking. One thing led to another, and the rumor turned out that I needed to start thinking about running for mayor. So that's why I decided to do this. I'm in a position now where my businesses will allow me to break away and focus on running the city. I think I know what it takes. I know what it takes when it comes to job creations and dealing with the issues of the pandemic. And as a former police officer, I know what it takes to keep this community safe. And I'm an honest and straightforward individual. I just call it like I see it. So there's no transparency issues with me. I am what I am, and you get what you get. So that's why I've decided to do it. And I think out of all the candidates running, I'm still the best one suited to take over where Jeff left off.
Thank you. Your next question, what are your top 3 priorities for stimulating small business activity and entrepreneurship in Arlington? This will be 2 minutes as well.
Yeah. So small business growth is essential for this community. Arlington has done a really good job at promoting our entertainment district and building the big business relationships. But the backbone of this community is really based in small business efforts. And we have to do a couple of things for that I think are going to be a part of the priority. One of the things is we have to change our image. Our image right now is we are not friendly to small business wanting to do business. And whether or not that perception is based in fact or fiction doesn't really matter, because if it's the perception, it's real to the people who are looking at it from the out in. So we have to change that perception, and that perception changes when we start working at the branding, how we put the city in there. One of the ways that we get into that is by eliminating or working on eliminating a lot of the red tape and the hassles associated with doing business in Arlington. There's a lack of consistency currently when somebody goes in and code enforcement comes out or inspectors come out and they say you got to fix A and B, and then the next person comes out and says, well, you didn't need to fix A and B, you need to fix Z and E, and everything else can go back the way it was. So I'm an advocate to create what would be called the Small Business Advocacy Department, which is the place where someone comes into the city and we actually have people that takes them by the hand and says, here's what to expect with P&Z, here's what to expect with code enforcement, and here's where you need to go to get the help.
All right, thank you. Your next question, how should the city most effectively leverage the tools provided by the newly created Economic Development Corporation? This will be 2 minutes as well.
So this is the first time that any mayor or council is going to have these type of funds available to them. And the EDC needs to be used efficiently and in a way that best promotes the diversity in the city. In other words, we have to make sure that we put a strong balance in this community with our job growth. For instance, the African American population is a little over 22% here in Arlington. The African American owned businesses in Arlington are about 1%. We need to make sure that that diversity is more evenly matched. And I think we can do that with the EDC and getting people to maintain certain standards as they come in for that. The monies with the EDC are only to be used for the small businesses. I don't want the monies for the EDCs going to help do anything in the entertainment district, doing anything such as that. We have to use those monies to help stimulate the growth within Arlington, and not just bringing small business here, but also taking the existing businesses and helping them develop the traction necessary to be profitable here in Arlington. There's a huge difference between bringing business to a community and having that business die on the vine in 2 to 3 years, and bringing business to a community and having that business thrive and continue to grow and continue to bring more jobs. And that's how that money needs to be spent and focused on.
Okay, thank you. Your next question, Arlington at times has received negative attention due to issues with permitting, inspection, and issuance of certificates of occupancy. What will you do as mayor to build public confidence that Arlington is truly a great place to do business?
That goes right back to what I was talking about earlier. The inconsistency that we have had in this city when it comes to those issues that you just talked about is ridiculous. We have to create a formula that gives people the opportunity to be successful in these type of things. So I think the creation of a small business advocacy department that helps those businessmen and women who are coming in here who want to open up a new business or be an entrepreneur, that says, here's what you can expect from P&Z. Here's what you can expect from permitting, and to get your CO, here's what you need to do. That's going to let people know Arlington really does want our business. Arlington really truly is open for business. We need those people that when those things start to happen, when people are getting the inconsistent results from COs and permitting and P&Z and council and things such as that, when we're starting to get those inconsistent results, we need a department, a connection that people will go through and they'll stand up and say, we're done with this. We're not going to tolerate this here. And here's how the city can fix it. Those are city people acting on behalf of the small business owners. And that's critically important.
Sorry for the shifting background there. I have a child in the room that is,
Okay.
it's COVID times. Everything's crazy, right? Okay, are you ready for your
Yes,
next
sir.
question? Okay, Arlington is running out of land. What are your plans to revitalize and renew older areas of the city, particularly East Arlington? And this will be a
Sure.
2-minute response.
There's a lot that can be done in East Arlington, particularly in East Arlington. We've already started some of that stuff. And I say we, I've been working with others to get some things done. For instance, there's been a piece of property at Sanford and Collins on the southeast part of that corner that has been left undeveloped and in a big state of disrepair for over a decade. Mayor Williams asked me and a realtor friend of mine if we could contact that property owner and see if we can get something going. The owner ends up being a super nice guy, and unfortunately the city has sued him for the last 10 years 3 times, and the city's lost all 3 times. Then the city wrote him $130,000 worth of code enforcement violations. We struck a deal with the city to reduce those fees. We got investors to come in and help create a project with UTA to come in and do like an open air farmers market with restaurants and retail stores and things such as that, called the Vandy Project, short for Vandergrift, because it used to be a Vandergrift Buick dealership. Had the city done that 10 years ago, instead of trying to force feed the condemnation of that property, we could have had that done a long time ago. Also, you have tremendous potential down on the 303 corridor there in the international corridor, where there's a lot of revitalization that needs to be done to take advantage of the international cultural market there. We need to embrace our cultural differences, not run from them. I'm about out of time, but we really need to focus on developing that 303 corridor.
Thank you. Your next question, what is your vision for the special relationship between the city government and the University of Texas at Arlington? This will be 2 minutes as well.
We have to open up the lines of communication much better between all of our educational facilities in Arlington, and not just UTA, but we need to look at TCC and AISD as well. You know, at any given day, Arlington has over 100,000 students in this city. When I say students, I mean either students of AISD or the upper education students of TCC and UTA. We need to collaborate effectively by bringing all of those entities together with local government so that we can help develop plans that create jobs. Right now, everybody seems to be operating on their own. You know, we have UTA functioning here and TCC functioning here and AISD functioning here and the local government over here. But we can bring our educational facilities together, our private industry together, our nonprofits and our local government together to start working together to formulate strategies for that. The best way to deal with the job growth in stimulate people to be educated here and to stay here and work here is to open up those chains of communication and get people involved. And it hasn't been done near enough.
Okay, thank you. The next question, what sort of policies might you pursue, if any, to promote social justice, equity, and inclusion in our community? This will also be 2 minutes.
Sure. As a former police officer, I think I bring some unique insight into this. I am a pro-police guy. And first of all, I'll say that any attempt to defund the police is not an answer to deal with social injustices or inequities. However, there are cultural issues that do exist in every law enforcement agencies throughout the country. They existed when I was a police officer, and they exist now that need to be addressed. I can put myself in a nice car and drive down Division Street in Arlington at 3 o'clock in the morning, and assuming I'm not driving like a drunk, the odds are pretty good that I'm not going to get pulled over. But I could take a young African-American gentleman with some tattoos on him and put him in the same car driving the same way, and the odds are pretty good that he's going to get pulled over. There are cultural things that happen in those institutions that are suppressive or discriminatory. But the best way to deal with those is open communication and education, bringing people together, not running from our differences, but embracing those differences. Arlington has over 30 programs a year that they provide their police officers on diversification, on inclusion, on mental health issues. They do a really good job already, but there's always room to do better. I lost you. I can't hear you.
There we go. Sorry, I was muted there. Okay, your next question. What initiatives will you pursue, if any, to address homelessness and poverty in Arlington? And this will be a 2-minute response.
Well, jobs, 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 and more jobs. Homeless and poverty are issues everywhere, but now we're the 46th largest city in the country and over 400,000 in population. And it is a huge issue here. So when I say jobs, 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 the first thing we have to do is provide safety for these individuals, a safe place for them to live and stay and be healthy. The second thing we have to do is to help educate them. What do they need? Do they need some specific job training skills? Do they need mental health assistance? Do they need physical health assistance? We have to make sure that we get them in the right programs. And the third thing we do is we have to create a culture that helps build the job base that we can fill with those people. It's not an overnight process. It's going to take time, but we have to create the safety. We have to provide them the education and the therapy and the treatment necessary to keep them healthy. And we have to educate them to make sure that they have the proper skill set by which to be employed. But then we also have to be able to have those jobs available for them when we get them there.
Okay, thank you. Ready for your final question?
Sure. Already?
Yeah.
I'm just getting warmed up.
We're there. Okay, your last question, and this will be a 3-minute response.
Okay.
What will make you a better mayor than your competitors?
Wow. A lot. The short of it is my life experiences. None of my competitors have worked the streets as a police officer in Arlington. I have. I've been endorsed by all 4 police associations in Arlington. I'm the only candidate to ever run for mayor or city council to receive the endorsement of all 4 police associations. Others have gotten 2, but no one has ever gotten 4. Tomorrow, we will announce that I will also get the firefighters endorsement. I've been endorsed by Arbor, the Arlington Board of Realtors as well, and by Sheriff Bill Waber. None of my opponents have those type of endorsements. I also have former Chief Will Johnson's endorsement as well. I've been endorsed by Mayor Jeff Williams and Mayor Richard Green because they understand that I have the skill set to take us to the next level. Most importantly, I guess what distinguishes me besides my work in the city is my successes and my businesses and creating jobs here in Arlington is self-made. I didn't walk into an existing law firm that already had 40 employees and 12 attorneys. I developed the skill set to grow my firm and my restaurant and now employ nearly 100 people. None of my opponents can say that. None of my opponents can say that they know what it's like to have to make payroll every other week, week in and week out, and create those jobs. We need someone to be able to bring those skills to Arlington. But most important, I think, aside from my ability to bring jobs and aside from my understanding of what is safe and everything like that, is the fact that I understand relationships. I am the law firm partner of the Texas Ranger, the Dallas Stars, the Dallas Mavericks, American Airlines Center, Texas Live, and the Dallas Wings. And I am the law firm partner of all those people, not because I'm the best attorney in town. I'm the law firm partner because I'm good at building those relationships. And there's a mutual respect there. You cannot run a city like Arlington without having the ability to have relationships with everybody from the janitor to the big CEOs. And I'm the one that's best suited to bring those relationships.
All right,
That was
Jim,
good
that's
time.
it.
Did you see? That was almost right at 3 minutes.
You were almost on the dot there.
That was good.
Jim,
I'm giving you a hard time.
we really appreciate you taking the time to interview with us, and best of luck to your campaign.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Take care.